Mira found the small music box in the attic, dusty, tarnished, but still humming a soft, hidden tune. She wound the key slowly, and the lid lifted to reveal a tiny dancer spinning under a pale moonlight painted inside the lid. As the music played, the attic window jiggled open, inviting a faint breeze that carried a whisper, "Follow the melody." Mira, heart racing, climbed out into the night and followed the faint tune down cobbled lawns to a forgotten garden. The garden's gate was locked, but the music box's final note pushed in her hand and the latch clicked open. Inside, in silver moonlight, a phantom figure in a velvet coat stood waiting, watching, quiet, solemn. The phantom dancer beckoned Mira into the garden's center where lanterns glowed without flame, lighting petals that opened like pale moons. "You unlocked more than a gate," the figure said. "You freed the music of memory." The dancer raised his coat, and from the folds spilled tiny notes of light that turned into memories. Mira's childhood later under this very sky, the promise Ionas made to her younger self, the show of a goodbye shed buried. Tears streaming, Mira realized the garden had been waiting for her to remember what she had forgotten. The music box quieted and the phantom bowed. "Now the melody is yours to carry," he whispered, fading into moonlight mist. Mira closed the music box and tucked it into her jacket, stepping back through the gate at dawn, chunked, full of the music she had unleashed, ready to follow it into the rest of her life. Weeks passed, yet the melody never left Mira's mind. It hummed in the wind, rippled through puddles, even flickered in streetlights as she walked home. One evening, while playing the tune on her old piano, she noticed the shadows in her room begin to sway, not menacingly, but as if dancing to her rhythm. The air shimmered, and a soft light spilled from the music box on her desk. Slowly, the dancer within began to move again, only this time, it looked like her. The miniature mirror twirled gracefully, her reflection glowing brighter with each note as she played. Then the phantom's voice echoed faintly, when the melody finds its mirror, the past becomes the past. Suddenly, the walls of her room dissolved into that moonlight garden. The flowers glowed brighter than ever, blooming in time with her song. Mira realized she wasn't just playing the melody anymore, she was completing it. As the final note rang out, the garden pushed with light and she smiled, understanding at last, the music box had never been enchanted by magic alone. It was powered by memory, courage, and the music she carried in her heart. When the light faded, Mira found herself standing in the garden once more, but this time, dawn had broken. Sunlight streamed through the trees, and where the phantom stood, a trail of silver petals formed a path deeper into the garden. The music box in her hand felt warm, alive. As she followed the trail, she discovered an ancient fountain carved in vines. In its water, she saw not her reflection, but dozens of others, children lying, dreamers dancing, faces from generations past. The melody rose again, gentle but stronger than ever. "Every note you play awakens another," the voices whispered. Mira understood, she wasn't the first to find the garden, nor would she be the last. It was a place where forgotten dreams come to beauty again. She set the music box beside the fountain and, for the first time, let it play without her touch. The tune filled the air, spreading far beyond the garden walls. Somewhere in the city below, a little girl heard it through her open window and smiled, curious to follow the sound. As Mira turned to leave, the garden shimmered, welcoming its next visitor. She walked away softly, knowing the melody would live on, no longer hers alone, but a song carried by every heart brave enough to listen. Years later, the melody had become a legend whispered among children, a tune said to appear when someone stands at the edge of giving up. Mira had grown older, her hair now silver like the moonlight that once guided her. Yet sometimes, she still heard faint notes on the wind. One rainy evening, as she sat by her window writing music, she felt the same soft hum she heard that first night in the attic. The music box, untouched for years, glowed gently. sh opened it, and instead of the tiny dancer, a single glowing petal fluttered out, hovering before her eyes. It pulsed like a heartbeat, then drifted toward the door. Mira followed it through the rain, down winding streets, to the same forgotten garden, now blooming wild, luminous even in the storm. The fountain still sang softly, the melody eternal. As sh approached, the phantom reappeared, not shadow, but light this time. The song is old, he said. But every melody needs a new voice. From behind him, a small girl stepped forward, the same one who had once heard the music through her window. Mira smiled, realizing the cycle had come full circle. Sh placed the glowing petal into the girl's hand and whispered, "Follow the melody." The garden shimmered once more as the child turned toward the path, the music swelling with promise. Mira closed her eyes, the rain soft against her face, and vanished with the dawn, her spirit now part of the eternal song that would guide dreamers for generations to come. The little girl, Lina, stood silently as the rain faded and morning light painted the garden gold. The petal in her palm melted into a single note of light, sinking into her skin. Instantly, sh felt the melody bloom inside her chest, soft, powerful, and familiar, as if it had been waiting her all along. Around her, the garden stirred, vines unfurled, flowers leaned closer, and the air shimmered with gentle harmonies. Lina followed the winding path until sh reached the fountain where the music box still rested. But now, its wood gleamed like new, and when sh opened it, the dancer wasn't Mira, nor the phantom, it was her. The tiny figure bowed gracefully, and the fountain's water began to ripple into shapes, Mira's face, smiling proudly. Every melody becomes a story, the reflection whispered, and every story must find its next voice. As Lina touched the fountain's surface, the melody burst outward, flowing into the city below like invisible starlight. People paused in the streets, feeling something shift, a spark of courage, a forgotten dream rekindled, a sudden desire to create. Lina realized that the melody wasn't just meant to be heard, it was meant to awaken hearts. sh closed the music box gently, whispering, "Your song lives on," and turned toward the sunrise. The garden faded behind her, leaving only the echo of a tune that would never end, passed from one dream to the next, forever reminding the world that even the quietest melody can change everything. Years later, the world had changed, cities taller, skies brighter with the glow of endless invention, but beneath all the noise, Lina's melody still lingered. People hummed it without knowing why, painters as they worked, lovers as they danced, children as they dreamed. It had become the heartbeat of hope itself. Lina, now grown, traveled from town to town playing her violin, weaving the song into every note sh performed. Each time sh did, flowers bloomed along her path, and strangers felt lighter, as if remembering something beautiful they'd forgotten. One evening, after a concert in a quiet coastal village, sh wandered to the edge of the sea. The waves sang softly in time with her tune. When sh opened the old music box, the dancer spun once more, but this time, it wasn't just her reflection. Mira stood beside her again, radiant, no longer a spirit but a presence of light and memory. "You've carried the melody well," Mira said, her voice like wind through silver leaves. "But now it is time for it to grow." sh placed her hand over Lina's heart, and the music box dissolved into a thousand shimmering notes that scattered into the sky. Each note found a home, in every corner of the world, every heart that dared to dream. As the last light faded, Lina understood. The melody had become more than music, it was a living promise. A reminder that stories never truly end, they echo, they transform, and they return, waiting to be heard again by those who still believe in wonder. And somewhere, in a dusty attic lit by moonlight, another small box began to hum. The attic was quiet, save for the faint hum of the music box awakening once again. Dust motes swirled like tiny galaxies in the moonlight, and a boy named Arin, curious and restless, followed the sound. He had only come up here chasing a stray cat, but the soft melody caught him still. It was gentle and strained, but new and impossibly old, as if it had been waiting just for him. Arin wound the key, the lid opened slowly, and out rose a faint shimmer, swirling into sharpest glimpses of Mira's moonlight garden, Lina's violin, the glowing fountain. He didn't understand them, but he felt them, deep and wordless. Then, a whisper slipped through the air. Follow the melody. The attic door creaked open on its own, leading into a staircase that shouldn't have been turned. The air smelled of rain and roses. Arin stepped through without fear, and as his foot touched the first step, the world shifted, walls dissolving into starlight, floorboards into clouds. Below him stretched the garden, reborn yet chunked, filled now with children's laughter and the faint glow of countless tiny petals drifting upward like fireflies. At the fountain stood Lina, older but smiling warmly, her violin resting against her shoulder. "Welcome," as she said. "The song chose you." Arin's heart thudded with awe. The melody rose again, weaving around them both, carrying voices from every dream would come before. As he reached out toward the fountain, the light rippled, embracing him. The music box closed itself behind him, sealing once more, but not for long. Because now, the melody belonged to him, ready to begin again, to echo through another lifetime, another dream, another heart brave enough to follow its sound. The garden shimmered like dawn made of sound. Arin stood at its heart, barefoot on dew-soaked grasses, feeling the pulse of the melody beneath his skin. Around him, flowers breathed in rhythm, each petal a note, each breeze a whisper of forgotten dreams. Lina watched from a distance, her eyes proud and soft. "The melody doesn't just belong to you," as she said. "It becomes you." As she spoke, the fountain began to glow brighter, its waters lifting into spirals of light that painted stars in the air, Mira discovering the music box, Lina carrying the song to the world, and now Arin, its newest keeper. The visions swirled faster, until the light wrapped around his body, warm and weightless. Every melody is reborn through those who believe, the voices of the past echoed. Now, it is your turn to guide it forward. Arin closed his eyes, listening deeply. The melody inside him chunked. It no longer sounded like Mira's tune or Lina's violin. It was brighter, faster, more alive, pulsing with the rhythm of a new age. As he began to hum, the stars above the garden trembled and responded, flickering in harmony. The melody spilled out of the garden, rushing across mountains, rivers, and cities. Much in his post, children looked up. The world itself seemed to take a breath and remember wonder. When Arin opened his eyes, Lina and the garden were gone, replaced by endless sky. Yet the music remained, carried in his heartbeat, his laughter, his every word. Somewhere, far below, another attic window fluttered open in the wind. The faintest note drifted through it, soft, calling, eternal. The melody was awake again, the melody moved like wind through the world, gentle, unseen, unstoppable. In every corner of every city, it found its way into hearts that had forgotten how to dream. A weary painter, who hadn't touched a brush in years, suddenly felt the urge to mix colors again. A lonely old man on a park bench began humming, not knowing why, but smiling through tears. And high above it all, Arin wandered beneath the stars, guided by a music that had no end. One night, he reached the edge of a vast desert where the horizon met the sky in shimmering gold. There, the melody grew quiet, as if holding its breath. In the stillness, a familiar figure appeared, Mira, her form woven of moonlight, and beside her, Lina, her violin glowing softly. "You've carried it farther than we were called," Lina said. "But even eternity must renew itself." Mira stepped forward, her eyes filled with ancient kindnesses. "The melody is not meant to live in one voice forever. It must scatter and become part of the world." Arin hesitated. "Then, this is goodbye." "Not goodbye," Mira whispered. "Just transformation." The melody swelled, rising into the stars, breaking apart into thousands of glimmering fragments that streaked across the night sky like comets. Each fragment landed somewhere new, a lullaby in a matter's voice, a rhythm in a street performer's song, a spark in a poet's heart. The music was everywhere now, belonging to no one and everyone at once. As the last notes faded, Arin smiled, realizing he was no longer just a keeper, he was a part of the melody itself. The stars above pushed in harmony, and for the first time in forever, silence felt full. And in a quiet attic somewhere, a new child stirred into their sleep, hearing a faint, familiar tune calling them to wake, to listen, to begin the song again.